It is a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon in the great city of Denver, Colorado, and the Rockies are matching up again with the San Diego Padres. They've lost the first two ball games of this series, two close ball games. The Rockies need this one badly. They're at 79 and 66. Let's take a look at the National League West standings, because the Padres have won a couple in a row. Now the Rockies are 3.5 back. The Giants lost 1-0 yesterday. They're game and a half back. In the wild card, the Rockies trail the Braves by 3.5. Braves also playing this afternoon. And good afternoon, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. We'll begin with the good news. The Rockies have not lost an afternoon ball game since before the All-Star break. That's the good news. The bad news is they've lost the first two of this series. They need this one badly.
They really do. This is more or less a two-game swing, so you're going to really rely on De La Rosa. If you lose, you jump back to 4.5. If you win, you're at 2.5. So it's a big, big ball game here. Clayton Richardson has done a great job for this ball club. A trade that Kevin Towers made with the Chicago White Sox. Jorge De La Rosa, he's been special of late, folks. 96 punch-outs for De La Rosa. It's been everything for him, but more importantly, the command of his off-speed pitches. 8 innings, 5 hits, 10 punch-outs, and his last start, I believe that's a 6. I'm seeing a lot of things here. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. The key for me in this whole thing, no walks. He didn't give up any walks in that ball game. And if he can command those pitches against a very, very aggressive ball club, and they are aggressive, if they can do that, he should be all right.
Well, they need him to be good. They need him to work deep into this baseball game. The bullpen has been taxed over the last 3 days. Carlos Gonzalez, he just continues to rake the baseball. More on him when we come back. The Rockies try to salvage one of 3 against the division-leading San Diego Padres. Well, Carlos Gonzalez has been awfully special this year. He went 1 for 9 over a couple of days. People were like, uh-oh, what's going on? Well, he had 3 hits and 3 more RBIs last night. He continues, along with Troy Tulowitzki, to carry the offense.
Well, he does carry the offense, but he's also getting all kinds of national notice. A huge article in the New York Times today on this great young left fielder, right fielder, center fielder, and, oh, by the way, a great hitter. Because last night he came through with some big base hits again to put the Rockies in a position to try to win the ball game. Lefty-lefty matchup. Thatcher, Black got what he wanted. The Rockies got what they wanted. A base hit by Carlos Gonzalez. And on the graphic, you're going to look at these Triple Crown candidates. And again, Carlos probably got this thing pretty close to wrapped up when it comes to average. He's too hot for that. Can he catch the home run totals? That's going to be hard, but I think he can win, obviously, the RBI totals.
Yeah, and we've seen guys win 2 out of the 3. It just shows you how difficult, George, it is to win all 3. And Pujols on that graphic, +7 in terms of home runs. Last time I checked, he tends to hit a lot of home runs. Let's go down and check in with Lana Rizzo. Hey, Lana.
Hey, guys, thanks very much. Coming up for me in the ballgame, George just alluded to it. New York state of mind. Carlos Gonzalez getting some much-needed national recognition, what Jim Tracy said about that fact. Then Rockies rotation. I set the Rockies rotation for you for the L.A. and Arizona series is by Jim Tracy today. And then Everyday Olivo. Why Miguel Olivo loves playing every single day and the training regimen he goes through to make sure he can, guys.
All right, Alana, sounds good. So the Rockies and Padres, a big afternoon tilt at Coors Field. Come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470, use E470 and you'll get to the airport with time to spare. By the Ford F-150, it's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. And by Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. What a terrific day. The Tivoli on the Auraria campus, just a few blocks away. We're 20th and Blake. Coors Field, the spot. Last night, over 40,000 witnessed the Rockies trying to come back late against the Padres and Heath Bell, and they almost pulled it off before falling 7-6. Aaron Cunningham hitting the leadoff spot yesterday for the first time this year. He's back there again today because he produced 3 hits and 5 trips yesterday. He'll be followed by David Eckstein. Miguel Tejada's had a strong series. Adrian Gonzalez has a great resume, 305. He leads the club. Then Ryan Ludwig. Then the Hairston brothers, older brother Jerry, then younger brother Scott. Yorvi Torrealba will catch at bat 8th, and Clayton Richard, the former backup quarterback at the University of Michigan, And here's the numbers on Jorge De La Rosa. As many of you know, he missed 10 weeks, George, so it's just his 17th start.
It's just his 17th start, but he has pitched very well, particularly his last 5 starts where he's gone 3-1 with a 245 earned run average, only 11 walks, over 33 strikeouts. Left-handers he's been able to handle in the lineup. That is important with Gonzalez in their lineup, 173. How about this? You talk about keeping you in ball games. Go all the way back to July the 17th. Was the last time he gave up more than 3 earned runs in a ball game.
That's something else. 10 straight ball games where he's allowed 3 or less, and 8 of those ball games have been quality starts. Jay Payton is getting the start in left field. Dexter Fowler's 2 for 19 lifetime against Richard. He's getting a day off, so Cargo's in center, Spilborg's in right. Johnny Herrera giving Melvin Mora a break. Tulowitzki, EY, Jason Giambi giving Helton a day off. And everyday Miguel behind the plate with the injury to Chris Iannetta. Here's the veteran Jay Payton. First pitch this afternoon is brought to you by our friends at Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 12. One weekly winner will be chosen. So here we go. Aaron Cunningham will step in, and Jorge De La Rosa will take to the mound in a large game. And I harken back last year, George, I believe it was in San Francisco, similar situation. Rockies needed a great performance, and De La Rosa gave it to them.
He did give it to him, and that's what you hope to get from him today. Give you 7 innings of very good baseball. You see that first wiggle, he'll change up, they're going to slide over to the fastball. And part of this is the aggressiveness last night of their ball club early in the game. If you look up, folks, they have stats on everything. If you look up, Jason Hamill throws 75% fastballs in each start. Last night, they were very aggressive first pitch fastballs against Jason Hamill.
That got him. So Cunningham gets hit by the second pitch of the game, and he goes to first. That's something else. The Rockies last couple of days against the Padres, George, they can't get out of the first inning without some traffic.
It has been a bad habit of what's going on the last couple of ball games, creating that traffic. You see here, the ball comes in, trying to run a hard slider down and in, and just cut too much as a yank out on the front side of that delivery of De La Rosa.
Well, the Rockies in each of the first 2 games of this series have given up 2 in the first inning. And it just puts a lot of pressure on your offense. You want to be loose when you go to the plate. Not that you wouldn't be loose anyhow, but you know, there's a burden when you're behind early.
Well, it seems like it's 4-0 and you're going into the 5th or 6th inning, and you got to climb back out of ball games. Last night, obviously, in that game, miscues in the field.
Ripped to third, Herrera to first, double play. Johnny Herrera had a bullet hit at him, and he made the catch and fired to Jason Giambi for 2 quick outs.
And absolutely, it was a bullet. Eckstein really struggling, just 3 hits and 24 at-bats against De La Rosa, but he'd only struck out 1 time. Great reaction, too, to think that way, to just catch and fire to first base.
Tejada takes a cut fastball. Look at Johnny Herrera. I was talking to him about his glove playing third base today. I said, do you use a longer glove at third? Typically guys do. Johnny says, nope. He said, I'm married to my 11-inch middle infield glove. And some middle infielders are using 11.5-inch, maybe even, maybe 11.25. A lot of guys use 11.5. He's at 11, and at third base, George, that's a really small glove.
That's a very small glove, but when you start thinking about it, you're adding 1 inch to a glove, and I guess the comfort level for him of having that hand inside the same leather gives him confidence at third base.
The other thing he does, and a lot of infielders will do this, he'll put 2 fingers in the pinky, and then your middle finger goes where your ring finger is, and there's actually, especially if you stick the forefinger out, then there's 2 open areas. It's kind of a stronger grip, especially when breaking in a glove initially.
Well, on the other side of that too, Drew, a lot of times they'll put extra padding inside that glove because to stay away from the bone bruise just on line drives just like that.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Tejada.
The gloves have become so technical now that they can design and ask to have padding put here, taken out of there. Just design, of course, when you get to this level at the big leagues, a lot of these guys, for a guy like Tulowitzki and some other people, man, they make a glove that you want.
And guys don't want to retire their gamer. I mean, Tulowitzki has had the same glove since Tulsa, Double-A. Here's the 2-2. And a line drive that Troy can't reach up and catch. So Tejada with a solid single. And that'll bring up Adrian Gonzalez. A couple balls hit very hard here in this first inning against De La Rosa, similar to what we saw last night with Jason Hamill. Just don't want to see the runs. Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 runs or more in any game, go to Taco Bell in Colorado the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Taco Special. 16 hits and 7 runs last night for San Diego, a team that typically struggles to score runs, struggles to put a great number of hits on the board. On and miss. Adrian Gonzalez behind that fastball.
And he's hit 304 against De La Rosa with a couple of home runs, 6 RBIs, but he has struck out 9 times in 23 at-bats against De La Rosa. Numbers for him on the season, over 142 games, and still having another one of those special years.
Outside, we mentioned yesterday, especially as the game wears on, Adrian Gonzalez, because he is the man, head and shoulders offensively above everybody else in that Padres lineup. He gets a lot of situational lefties, yet he's hitting .339 left on left this year.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, he's a great hitter. That's the bottom line. 1 and 2.
Well,
I asked him yesterday, Frazier, said, did you always have the ability to go the other way? And like so many good hitters, Giambi's the same way. His power came later. He used to wear out left field, he said, growing up.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You look at all great hitters. Todd Helton, Giambi, guys that can swing the bat, Carlos Gonzalez. They have that ability to go the other way.
It's hard to hit for high average if you're just a pull hitter. Two outs, Miguel Tejada at first. A 1-2 count on Adrian Gonzalez. San Diego area native. Gonzalez has been battling shoulder soreness throughout the season. It really dates back to last year. And because of that, in the past, he's used a 35-inch, 33-ounce bat. But this year, he's gone with a 34.5-inch bat. It's been in the 32, 31.5-ounce range. Off the plate, 2-2. .82 degrees game time temperature. Beautiful Colorado mid-September afternoon. Game number 146 for the Rockies. Got him. So De La Rosa works a scoreless inning. Got a little help from Johnny Herrera on that bullet from David Eckstein. Herrera turned it into a double play. Clayton Richard. Here's the rest of Jim Tracy's lineup on a Wednesday afternoon. Jonathan Herrera did such a marvelous job in that 2-hole in the absence of Tulowitzki. He's there right now in this ball game. Gonzalez, Tulowitzki. Tulo's 5 for 10, a couple of bombs against Richard. Then Giambi, who owns a home run against Richard. Ryan Spilborghs is really swinging the bat well. Jay Payton, a couple hits in each of the last 2. Olivo and De La Rosa. Eric Young has seen Richard twice. He's 0 for 2.
And he's been able to handle the #1 hole on everybody's ball club. They're hitting 195 against him and out of the leadoff spot in baseball.
And the push bunt. This is going to be a tough play, and they're not going to get it. What a great push bunt by Eric Young Jr. It's one you utilize, George, against left-handed pitchers.
Well, here's what you're looking for. If you're going to push it, you need to go right here with it. If you're going to have success either way, and EY couldn't have picked this ball off of the bat, walked out, and put it in a better place. It was outstanding. And I think even if Gonzalez, even if he has not handled that ball cleanly, they're still not going to have a shot at it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they get him even if he picks it cleanly. And part of the reason he doesn't pick it cleanly is he knows how fast Eric Young is. So here's Johnny Herrera. Good hit and run man. Richard has picked off 6, and Herrera goes small ball. And Torriello's throw, got him barely. I mean barely. His feet to Eckstein.
From the scouting report, you can see very quickly, all right, you know what, we're going to play small ball. We're going to try to get a run on the board early in this game and get a guy into scoring position for one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball, Carlos Gonzalez. But this looked more like a bunt for a base hit than it did anything else. The smartest thing Gonzalez did was get out of the way and let Eckstein take the throw. See in the background, the foot's there, the glove's there, and it's the correct call. But a great job by Johnny.
And good job by David Eckstein going to the dirt to get that low throw. So here is Gonzalez with 104 RBIs, tied for the league lead.
If you're wondering, his 63 hits against left-handed pitching, the most in baseball against left-handed pitching, left on left.
Well, he got the pitch he was looking for. He told me earlier that Richards tried to pound him in with fastballs, and it looked like, George, he was looking in there.
Yeah, he got it. Just unfortunately hit it right at somebody.
2 outs. Tulowitzki coming up. Defensively, Scott Hairston with the sore shoulder. He's in left field. Cunningham and Ludwig in the outfield. Jerry Hairston at third. We saw him at second earlier in the series. Tejada, Eckstein, Adrian Gonzalez, and the former Rocky, Yorfi Torrealba, doing the catching.
Pretty good numbers, 138 strikeouts, walks, obviously 2-1, and a winning record of 12-7. A very good earned run average of 336. Out on the road, he's 6-2, but an earned run average of 4.12. What he's done at home, 6-5, 277 earned run average.
Rockies trying to get an early jump on the Padres, and even though they've had a great homestand, 7-2. The opponent, going back to San Diego even, good swing. The opponent has scored first on the Rockies in 8 of their last 11, but the Rockies have won 9 of those ball games. But listen, you don't want that to be a trend.
No, you can't. Check the run support that Richard has received. That 6-2 record out on the road. He's averaging just a little over 4 runs of support out on the road.
His ERA much higher on the road than it is at home. That's not a huge surprise. He's above 4 on the road. He's a good pitcher, though. 0-2. And Tulo held up. Home plate umpire is Mark Carlson. Jeff Kellogg is at first. Larry Vanover is at second. Jeff Nelson at third. Young at third, 1-2 on Tulowitzki. And this ball ripped to left for a base hit. 1-0 Colorado. High fastball, and Tulowitzki got the barrel to it.
76 RBIs now. He ups his average against Richard, 6 for 11 now with a couple of home runs. That's right. Tulo, you got a lot of fans here. High heater, high stance for him, a very upright stance. Allowed him to get on top of this fastball and drive it to left field to bring home Ewok.
Well, that's a good feeling for that entire dugout, in particular for Troy Tulowitzki. 2 out hit in the first inning to give the Rockies an early advantage. And now Giambi takes a breaking ball for a strike. He thought that was down. They put the shift on for Giambi. Eckstein is out in the outfield. Tejada is on the right side and swung on and missed. Giambi pinch hit late and walked. Rockies had a great chance last night. They scored 2 against Bell in the 9th. They had runners at first and second if you didn't stay up late with 1 out. And Eric Young hit a hard ground ball. Swung on and missed. It turned into a double play. It's about the only place Ewok can hit a ball and have a double play turned with his speed. Rockies get a quick run. Eric Young set the table with a great bunt. For a great Colorado payback sideline report with Alana.
All right, guys, the Rockies have a much-needed day off tomorrow before we all head to Los Angeles for a 3-game set against the Dodgers, a day off on Monday, then a 3-game set with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jim Tracy earlier today said what his rotation would be for those 2 respective series. In Los Angeles, expect to see Ubaldo Jimenez, Yolis Chacin, and then Jason Hamill. Then the day off in Arizona, Jorge De La Rosa, Ubaldo Jimenez once again, then Jeff Francis. Now, nobody is coming back on short rest, and Jeff Francis is available to pitch out of the bullpen as early as Saturday to give them some length out of the pen. He said, again, nobody's coming back on short rest. And he did say that later on, not in these 2 series coming up, they would not be opposed to bringing Ubaldo back on short rest later on in the rest of the regular season if necessary. But he certainly doesn't have a clear picture if that would be the case. So he does have the rotation set for the next 2 series, guys.
Well, it's getting to that time of year, George, where you shorten up your rotation, and the front part of your rotation may go on short rest.
Well, it does. And right now, Ubaldo's scheduled to pitch the second to last game in St. Louis, also with the Cardinals on Saturday. So, and it also, you keep mentioning this, and Jim has too. And then after the press left this morning, Jim said that's all great if we're able to do that, but it also depends on the health of our ball club and the health of our pitching staff.
2-1's line foul by Ryan Ludwig.
They can't go out and give you 4 innings, and that type of situation there, you're going to burn up your bullpen.
Well, the bullpen got burned up last night. That's why Egmer Escalona was pitching the 9th inning in a 2-run ball game. And it's not to knock Escalona, but you know he's a young guy who's pitched twice at the big league level. He did give up 1 run in the 9th inning, but that ultimately was the difference in the ball game. And it's not on just on him. He did fail to cover first base on a ground ball to Todd Helton, but you're putting a guy in a position, forced to if you're Jim Tracy, because he had no arms left, in a position where he really doesn't belong. 2-2 on Ludwig.
Well, I think part of that is, and the frustrating side of that is, I mean, I go all the way back to 8th grade. Ball hit to the right side, cover first base, regardless till you're called off of it. And it's just a young kid that was out in a situation last night. It's been around baseball for a while, 7 years. He just didn't make the right move and get there in time. Didn't even move, to be honest. Todd was playing so deep, it was a foot race. There was not won by Todd.
Another foul ball by Ludwig. Ludwig's had a big series, 5 for 8. And this is poked to center field. Card goes right there, 1 out. Let's take a look at our Breaks Plus Take a Break poll of the game. When you're at the park on a hot day, do you get refreshment from soda or pop? See, I don't understand this one, because I'm from the East. Oh, do we call it soda or pop? Okay, because I'm from the East and we called it soda. So the question basically is, do you call it soda or pop?
See, in the Midwest, we call it pop.
Right. I think it has everything. It's a geographic type of question. So do you call it soda or pop?
So you're going to know how many Easterners or how many Midwesterners are watching the game today.
And how many live here in this region now. Jerry Hairston Jr. with 1 out. Ground ball right at Eric Young.
You know, before the ball game too, what I like,
errant throw, but Giambi popped off the bag to make the tag.
One thing Jim Tracy talked about was, you know, when a guy has a bad ball game, and EY had one yesterday. Unfortunately, made a couple errors, double play balls. That instead of putting them in a penalty box and saying, you know, you need to go work on your ground balls, or you're going to work on them during the game. You're going to play today. You're right back into the lineup, and that's the part of managing that gives confidence to Eric Young Jr. It gives confidence to your bullpen when you blow leads or you don't do well. You're in those slumps. It's a simple deal. And he also talked about today of giving Todd Helton more of the day off, because then he feels they'll really be energized for Friday night in Los Angeles with 2 days off with tomorrow. And it's nice you have the parts that you can put in when a guy more than 400 home runs over at first and a very good young player in a rare at third. It's already paid off. And a nice play at third from Herrera and a bunt sacrifice.
Chance for Tulowitzki on Hairston. He's going to make it. Well done, Troy Tulowitzki. That's a big league play right there. And a 1-2-3 second for Jorge De La Rosa. 1-0 Colorado. Jay Payton last night had a pinch hit for the second straight ball game. He also had his first RBI since a ball game in New York against the Yankees 2 years ago. He was out of baseball last year, rehabbing from an injury, and he's in the starting lineup this afternoon. I told you yesterday that Jim Tracy loves Jay Payton. He has immense respect for Payton, for what he's done in the game, for his work ethic, how he carries himself. Bright guy, former academic All-American at Georgia Tech. He was on some great teams there, George, as you know, with Garcia Parra and Jason Veritek. He's a pro, and it's nice to be able to bring up somebody with his pedigree late in the season.
Well, I think that we even talked about bringing him up. You know, why were they not doing something with him in July? Well, he had a little bit of an injury problem. It took some time to heal up for him. And I think that's one of the reasons he wasn't here. But he's already made the impact you had hoped for from a veteran right-handed bat here in September. Now, Spilly's been on some kind of hot streak, man. 11 for 25, 55 over the last 9 ball games. Not going to come up a little bit short on this time, but only 1 at bat in 4 of those 9 games. But yet he had 5 RBIs and 6 runs scored. Pretty productive.
So Spilborg's gone here, and Jay Payton will come up with 1 out. Miguel Olivo will follow. Love Jay's line when he first arrived. He had a meeting with Jim Tracy, and he repeated what he said to Jim Tracy to me, and I'm sure some others. He said, you know what, if they want me to clean spikes before the game, I'll do it. Whatever they want me to do, I'll do. Well, I'm just happy to have a big league uniform back on.
I think that's part of it. You know, when he left here, he had 4 or 5 years where he's at Baltimore, Oakland, different ball clubs, but he wasn't ever in that same impact he was here. And you always like to go back to a place you just had great numbers at. And he had great numbers here in Colorado while he was here. And I think that's the feel-good side of things. And he also missed having the uniform on. He missed having the ability to sit here and compete. And, you know, when it's taken away from you, you really don't realize how bad you miss it. You typically have some anger issues about the game of baseball. And, you know, maybe you did me wrong. I worked as hard as I could on all this. Very really. Because he could still run, folks. He hit 302, 28 home runs, and 89 RBIs. And 93 runs scored for the Rockies in 2003.
As I've pointed out many times, especially after that season, the 28 home runs, George, more than half, 15 came out on the road.
And that was the impressive part of what he did. Not only the home runs, the RBIs that came with the home runs.
2 outs, Miguel Olivo at the plate. He's hitting .323 over his last 9 ball games. Working Miguel away in this series. And that was an off-speed pitch down, 2-0.
Follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com @bat, featuring highlights and a whole lot more.
On the outside corner. It's now a final, George, in Atlanta. The Braves lost again. Washington beat them 4-2. That's good news for the Rockies.
Really good
3-1.
news. Yeah. Make up some ground in that wild card.
Yep, so now the difference is 3 in the wild card. If the Rockies win, it goes down to 2.5 in both the division and the wild card. 3-1.
Tonight in LA, you got Billingsley. It looks like for San Francisco, you've got Matt Cain going. Good matchup.
And again, for those folks that had already turned in last night, the Dodgers won in San Francisco 1-0. They had 1 hit, a single in the ball game. Kershaw pitched a 4-hit complete game shutout.
Yeah, how about that? This youngster, everybody worried about innings, worried about all the other things that might go along with it, and yet he puts up what he wants to on a Tuesday night in that ballpark.
3-2 again on Miguel. And this ball is lifted to left center field. Scott Hairston puts the glove out. There's some wind up there. You can see by his reaction. 1-2-3 second inning for Richard. We'll go to the 3rd. The Rockies have the only run. open your Express Toll account today and start saving money on E470. Tomorrow's an off day. Rockies will travel late in the afternoon to Los Angeles. 3-game set against the Dodgers, then another off day Monday before a 3-game set in Arizona. Then Colorado will return home for 6 here. And then the final 4 games of the season will be played in St. Louis against the Cardinals. The 2 teams they'll see on the homestand, the Giants and the Dodgers.
Yeah, those are 2 tough teams that the Rockies have had trouble with. Their rotation is good. You're going to see their 8 players over that span. And I tell you, everybody talks about that series. The one I'm a little concerned about is when you go to Arizona and play at Arizona.
Uh-oh, this ball's hit a ton by Torrealba, and he has just tied this game up. He sat on a first-pitch fastball from De La Rosa. He knows his arsenal maybe better than anybody. He's caught him more than anybody else the last few years. For Torrealba's 6th home run of the year.
Let's look one more time on his first pitch offering fastball, and that's where Torrealba likes the ball, up in the strike zone and out over the plate. A lot of guys do, but some guys aren't able to handle that heat at 93, 94 miles an hour. He was able to do that and put it into the seats in left field.
Clayton Richard takes a strike.
Not a horrible hitter. He's not a horrible hitter. 5 RBIs on the season for Richard. He's not a big average, 154.
Now you'd figure, and that's a pretty good hack, you'd figure he'd handle the bat all right just looking at his athletic background.
That's a big kid.
That's a big,
very thick, strong kid.
It's like Helton's always self-deprecating about his football abilities as Richard is dismissed. Well, this kid was recruited to play football. Michigan was a backup quarterback there. Helton started at Tennessee for a while. And last time I checked, Tennessee, the Wolverines of Michigan, they don't recruit just anybody to go and take snaps from center.
One of those top 30 programs in the country. Both of them.
Yeah, even better than that. I mean, year in and year out. Michigan off to a good start this year under Rich Rodriguez, the embattled former West Virginia head coach. Aaron Cunningham with 1 out. He was hit by the 2nd pitch of the game.
Well, the other thing I'm going to bring up very quickly, you talked about area scouts finding 20th round draft picks. Well, it's the pro scouts. They go down and work and see a Clayton Richards. They see other guys that come over and you help your ball club based on those trades when you start to make trades. And you ask for certain players in those trades. Well, that's all the pro scouts who work and answer directly to Dan O'Dowd and Bill Guyvette.
Repair that chip in your windshield by calling Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. George, to your point, it's not just at the big league level. Also, when trades are made, you see it around the trade deadline. A lot of times, a high-priced guy going to another team for prospects. Well, they're not basing who they're getting on what you tell them about them as an organization. They have to have their scouts watch them over a period of time.
Sure, they do. Yep. And that's where, a guy may have an organization. And when they say that, you got Colorado. Well, it's not just the 25 guys on the big league roster here. It's that AA and AAA team also. And a lot of times, more and more teams are taking it down to the low Class A leagues and doing their research there on the players.
0-2 on Eckstein, who hit a bullet to third. And Johnny Herrera turned into a double play as he fired across to Giambi to get Cunningham. That's as hard as David can hit the baseball right there.
Yeah, and he struggled a lot against, I mentioned this earlier, against De La Rosa.
Boy, I respect the heck out of this guy.
3 for 25, and out of those 25 at bats, I think it's 26 at bats now. Eckstein's only struck out for the 2nd time against De La Rosa. He puts it in play.
Home run by Torrealba's tied up the ball game. League West title. Let FSN, the home of the Rockies, keep you up to date. Stay informed by getting messages about your Rockies sent straight to your phone by texting FSN RM to 95323. De La Rosa behind 0-2. De La Rosa has swung the bat well at times this year.
.88 average right now. 4 RBIs. Got a couple of doubles.
Well, he goes up there, George, trying to get hits like that. I mean, there's some guys, as you know, that just want to get it over with.
But it's uncomfortable setting up the play like that.
De La Rosa's up there trying to help his club, and he does so with a leadoff single here in the third.
Now, right off the bat, I think De La Rosa thought this ball was going to go foul because he kind of stood at home plate and watched it before he took off, and then when it curved into that foul fair territory area, there's a chance maybe he could have got into second base.
Inside on Eric Young. Young hitting .378 with this homestand. He's hit 9 of the 10 ball games. He had his 8-game hitting streak snapped last night. And it's 2-0. Look at Richard. And even though he's 27, George's got that youthful appearance. He looks like he's, you know, a senior at Ann Arbor right now.
He could pass for a bat boy if he was 5'10".
He's a little too big for that, though, right? Here's our Geico quote of the day. Gaylord Perry and Willie McCovey should know each other like a book. They've been ex-teammates for years now. The great Jerry Coleman. Where's the Colonel?
The Colonel's not here on this trip. He didn't make the trip out this time, but the Colonel, one of the more colorful guys in the game, and obviously a Hall of Famer.
3-0's in there, 3-1. Well, the Colonel is called that because he's a war hero, a pilot, World War II and also Korea. He was a player, George, a very good player, and he also has been an outstanding broadcaster.
He really is.
That's quite a life he's lived.
He's had a great one. I mean, played with the Yankees before he went into the war.
Here's a 3-2. And a check swing. And for some reason, Richard elected not to go to Eckstein at second, George. And he has a pitcher run at De La Rosa, and he had him.
I thought he did, too. I thought he had an easy snap throw to second base. I think De La Rosa did, too. Not much of a lead at first base by De La Rosa. As he heads down to second base, plenty of time. You can see the ball's caught, yet he doesn't go there. Maybe more comfortable or worried about throwing the ball, and got speed off the base pass, and he walked.
It's a break for the Rockies.
Absolutely.
Again, it's still De La Rosa, pitcher who doesn't run particularly well, but a chance on a base hit to get him home. The outfield shortens up with Herrera at the plate. This is where, Richie Dower, who does such a terrific job at third base, really good third base coach. He's aware of outfield arms. He's aware of positioning before the pitch, and he knows obviously who he has at second base.
Well, that's one thing. If they have all kinds of signs too. There's a De La Rosa out on second. Richie's pointing left side, slow roller, and he's giving the signs with his hands. Stay put. Ball hit the right side, come forward. Line drive, you're freezing.
And a base hit to right. Now, De La Rosa had to freeze to make sure Ludwig didn't catch the baseball. He ran the bases well there. And it's first and third for a fellow by the name of Carlos Gonzalez. So it was a good thing when he strolls to the plate.
With men in scoring position, how nice is it? Fastball that was up into the strike zone. Johnny just inside out swing. Worked it to the right side. It was hit so hard. Ludwig, though, is playing fairly deep. He doesn't come in on the ball that well. Takes it on the hop, and then a soft toss back into Gonzalez. I want to see if he attacks Gonzalez the way he did Giambi. Slider, strike one. Fastball in, slider away.
Ground ball to first. An inning ago, 2 innings ago for Gonzalez. They went away this time. They went in. first time, but it was a slider there, George. First time they went fastball in, and he turned on it and hit it on the ground. To Adrian Gonzalez.
An area of concern is that big opening over at first base right now. I think that's a big concern. By coming in, you're not going to throw it by.
This is in the air to center field. It could drop. It will. De La Rosa got the read on it, and he'll score the go-ahead run. 2-1 for Gonzalez, his 105th RBI.
Look where the outfield's playing, because they respect the powers so much. I mean, this outfield's really deep. So when he got this ball off the end of the bat, it's going to be difficult for Cunningham to come in and make a play on this baseball. So that allowed the run to score. But the positioning of this outfield has allowed some balls to drop and fall in. And the Rockies have benefited, as they have here in the third inning, to get this game go up on top 2-1.
Tulowitzki, an RBI hit in the first inning on a 1-2 pitch. He blistered a fastball to left. 2 on here with 1 out. Troy is 6 for 11 against Clayton Richard. On the homestand, he's hitting .361 with 7 jacks and 15 RBIs.
They had an RBI for Gonzalez and 19 RBIs now in 18 games against the Padres.
Tulo turns and smokes it into the stands. Well, at Petco Park on September 5th, Tulowitzki matched up with Richard. And here's what he did. Home run to dead center field. He's hit a few over the center field wall of late. 1-1 on Troy. A run in. Great average when the sun is shining. 380 for Tulowitzki. Cargo's on that list at 370. And Troy drives this one to center field and deep. Way back, and she's gone. And we showed you that replay. It was the same ball. 3-run jack for Tulowitzki. And now the Rockies lead it 5-1. Richard may just pass on him next time.
A couple of guys I think he's going to want to pass on. Tulowitzki and Gonzalez. Both these guys have heard him, but not as big as this by Tulowitzki.
Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, the 22nd bomb of the year for Troy Tulowitzki, and his 10th in the month of September. That is ridiculous stuff. And at a time, George Frazier, where his club needs him more than ever.
Oh, no question about it. His 10 home runs, still more than 13 other clubs combined. Their entire team of 13 in the month of September.
And here's the dynamic duo doing their thing again. The Rockies have 5 on the board, and the combination of Gonzalez and Tulowitzki have driven in all 5. Cargo an RBI hit. Tulowitzki has 4 ribbies now today. 5-1 Rockies. Miguel Olivo with the bear hug on Troy Tulowitzki. Man, he smoked that. Used to tell stories about Doug Flynn, who was kind of more of a singles doubles second baseman, that he owned you, George. This is a foul ball. Well, Tulowitzki's a guy that can hit a lot of balls over the wall. When a guy has your number, it doesn't matter where you throw it, he finds the barrel.
Yeah, doesn't he ever, though? I mean, now all of a sudden you look up and you're staring at 7 for 12, 3 home runs against Clayton Richard.
Still just 1 out. Giambi battling away, and that's a foul ball. Yeah, our Breaks Plus poll of the day, you see at the top of the screen. Do you call it soda or do you call it pop? Text your answer to 95323. Sada and Giambi. Oh, it's called strike 3. And the mask comes off for Mark Carlson. Giambi quickly getting to the dugout. Look where the location of this is.
Man, it's way off of the plate, and he calls strike 3. Giambi said a couple of magic words, but the smart thing that he did, he just kept walking to the dugout.
Billboards at the plate. Ryan struck out his first time. Two and one. Billboards has been seeing the baseball well. He's 9 for 17 on this homestand with 5 driven in. He's also walked 3 times. He's got a 3-1 count to work with. And a base hit for Spilly.
And to force Bud Black into getting into that bullpen pretty soon. He knows how hard they worked to win the first 2 ball games and where the Rockies bullpen is. So I think that may be a situation where he makes that phone call pretty soon. Darren Balsley going out to the mound right now to visit with him to try to maintain or carry, kind of like what Jim Tracy does with the Rockies staff and its bullpen.
Speaking of Jim Tracy, there are a lot of things to love about Tracy. One of the most affable people you will ever meet. He is also extremely honest. And after the ball game, before this one this afternoon, after the ball game last night, before this one, he said, I'm not going to mince words or try to sugarcoat it. This is a huge baseball game. This is a huge game, talking about this afternoon's affair.
And your players feel that from the leader of a club, from their manager, that how big this game is, and it's not necessary for him to go tell them that this is a big game. This team understood that.
I was talking to Miguel Olivo about that very subject this morning in the clubhouse. And, players, George, you played for a long time. Nobody understands how long a baseball season is any better than the guys who play the game and realize, you don't panic over a tough loss in July. And you realize that a great walk-off win even in August is just that, a lot of fun, but it was one game. And Olivo said, no, man, we got to have this one today.
Well, the biggest difference is, and again, I was on teams 25 games out of first since September the 1st. You're talking about deer hunting, fishing, and going home playing golf because it's basically over. Right now, you're talking about, I can't wait till October the 4th to get busy again. I mean, that's in your minds. That's what you're wanting. That's what you play the game for. Where you go home in the off season and you don't get that chance after being in the playoffs the last 2 out of 3 years, you're not a very happy guy for a while.
3-0 on Jay Pate, especially when you're playing chase, and that's what the Rockies are doing. To their credit, they've gotten themselves very close with that 10-game winning streak. That's a strike, 3-1, and they're trying to turn things around after losing the first 2 of this series with one of those teams they're chasing, the Padres. Line to the seats foul. It's 3-2 on Pate. Of late we've had the opportunity to talk about how the Rockies have given up some hits to the opposition starting pitcher and how it can be very costly. Well, it was costly to Richard in this inning with De La Rosa leading off, punching a single to left. This ball is hit well to right center field by Payton. Nobody's going to catch this one. And a bad break for the Rockies. Man, that's a bad break. Spilborghs has got to go back to third. If that ball stays in the yard, Spilborghs scores standing up. He's in the dugout before the ball's returned to the infield.
Absolutely, and Jay Payton scalds another double into right center field for the Rockies. To set up second and third in the bottom half of this lineup, starting to come through again. Ball up out of the zone, given chase by Cunningham and Ludwig. The ball hops up into the Rockies bullpen, and that's Spilly was not there yet, so he does have to go back.
And of course, they'll walk Olivo back live, and they'll load the bases for De La Rosa as the Rockies have hit around here in the third inning.
You can understand this, obviously, with first base open. And not only that, Olivo has been hot the last 9 ball games, hitting .323 with 6 ribbies, 4 runs, 4 doubles.
Hey, you know what? If you're Spilborghs and he recognizes, you go through your normal, get your walking lead at third, because he almost airmailed one, Richard, and then his next pitch on the intentional walk, Torrealba had to go to the ground, and he almost airmailed that one. He hasn't hit him in the chest yet.
One of those guys just having a tough time kind of locking up right at the very top of his arc and not able to find his catcher in this intentional walk.
See where this one goes. That one he found Torrealba. Trust me, Torrealba was on the balls of his feet. He wasn't taking anything for granted after the first couple.
Yeah, it cost you. It ended up putting the ball up against the fence.
Seen one of those, George? A wild pitch?
Absolutely.
On an intentional walk?
Yes, I had. Lance Parrish was catching in Detroit. Bases loaded in Minnesota in 1993. Threw it all the way off the screen. They lose the ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. First base, not bases loaded. First base was open, and they were intentionally walking Ken Herbeck.
So De La Rosa with a chance to help his club again, help his own cause. Foul ball. He hangs in there pretty good, George, especially left on left.
You know what he takes? Kind of and again, you watch his long swing. He's way out front, but it's just kind of a flat, long swing. And he puts his foot down in a hurry against the left-hander, so he can't bail out. You know, a lot of guys lift it up and step back. He puts it down rather quickly, so now he can't bail. And then he just takes the long swing at it and makes solid contact.
I remember his last start, he had an RBI double. In this game, in this inning, he's had a single and a run scored. Bases loaded. Richard's been out there forever. His next pitch will be his 70th.
Yeah, you got to feel he's going to have to come out of this ball game, particularly if another hit, another advance. Kevin Correa, one of the starters that had pitched in a rotation for the majority of the year, had been put into the bullpen. He's the one warming up down there. A lot of pitches. 70.
Spilborghs, Peyton, Olivo all on base. The Rockies have already tallied 4 in the inning. The big blow, a Tulowitzki 3-run bomb to center field. Spilborghs on with a single. Jay Payton, a ground rule double. And a ground ball to short. And Tejada will throw out De La Rosa. 10 come to bat in the third inning, and 4 cross home plate. Rockies have a 5-1 lead. What a September for Troy Tulowitzki. He knows what time of year it is. Old centers where you'll always get 40% more for your goal. And again, here's Alana Rizzo. Hey, Alana.
Guys, it is amazing that we talk about Carlos Gonzalez every single day with good reason. Today, RBI number 105, and it's not just us that's taking notice. Finally, Carlos Gonzalez getting some very nice recognition from the New York Times. He has a very nice article in the New York Times in the Sports Wednesday section of it. I showed him the article, and he just kind of smiled. It's nice to see him getting some national attention. Jim Tracy has said all along, if those guys on the East Coast would just stay up a little bit longer, the ones that have a voice and have a vote, they could see what Carlos Gonzalez is doing, guys.
And that's great national attention being in the New York Times. He's gotten a lot of attention, and you know what? He's handling it well. One of the parts of the piece in the New York Times about Gonzalez was Don Baylor talking about when he first got a hold of Gonzalez and he watched him and sees this great athlete. Pitch to Miguel Tejada's down. Baylor said the one flaw he had was that he held the bat not really in his fingertips on his top hand, but more toward the palm, the meaty part of the hand, and so he was losing bat speed. You want that bat looser at the top hand, and they made that little adjustment. He tore up AAA, and then after relaxing in the big leagues, Jim Tracy said, hey, you're going to go out there every day. I'm not sending you back out. He's hitting only 202. That's a foul ball at the All-Star break with a home run and 5 RBIs last year. And all Rockies fans know what happened in the second half. He went off. That's why one of the biggest parts of this game, and often repeated word you hear, is patience. Jim Tracy uses it all the time. George, you know that with young players, you got to be patient.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, the credit also needs to go with Dan O'Dowd, that he didn't panic and say the kid's not ready, send him down, bring somebody else up. You know, let's put the guy back in AAA.
Did Giambi ever see that?
I don't think he did.
I don't think Jason saw that. Tejada into second with a double, and I don't know if he could have made a play on it. I'm not saying he could have made a play, but just looking at Giambi's reaction, I don't know if the sun may have been an issue, but
well, look one more time. How close was the ball actually to him? I think he felt like, I mean, that ball got by him in a hurry. It's a little bit off, away from him, 10 to 12 feet. Not sure he would have made a play on it. It was just the body language looked as if he never saw the baseball.
Leadoff double for Tejada, and here's Adrian Gonzalez, who struck out his first time. You mentioned Dan O'Dowd. Dan insisted on having Gonzalez in the deal with Oakland for Matt Holliday. There were a couple other deals that were out there. There were a lot of people, obviously. Everybody was interested in having Matt Holliday. And there's Chris O'Dowd, Dan's son, who just getting ready to start his sophomore year at Dartmouth. He had a terrific year and a great summer also. He could play. And Dan, with Billy Beane, said, hey, listen, if Gonzalez isn't in the deal, we're gonna do a deal with somebody else.
Well, think about it too. I mean, you credit Mike Paul, you credit Marcel Latchman, the guys that have the American League West as scouts.
This ball to right center field for a base hit. Actually, it's going to roll toward the wall. And back-to-back doubles, and the Padres have it down to a 3-run game. It's 5-2. There's some well-struck balls by the Padres in this series for a team that's looked upon as a little bit light offensively. They squared a lot of balls up.
Yeah, that was one of those fastballs that were up in the zone a little bit, and it's just yanked into right center field for a base hit.
It's a 91st RBI for Adrian Gonzalez. Ludwig hit a fly ball to center field. George, I don't know what it is. Sometimes you spin through your rotation one time and everybody's biorhythm's off or something.
It's weird. I mean, you know, you go through that, you sit a long time, you're up. I mean, just.
This ball down the right field line with tail on it. It's foul. Let's go back to the first inning. David Eckstein ripped the ball, turned into a double play. Then Tejada had a rope to left center for a single. Second inning was pretty clean. 1-2-3 inning. I'm just thinking of hard hit balls. And then in the third inning, Torrealba hit the long home run to left center. And now this inning, 2 hard hit balls. Tejada and Gonzalez, 2 doubles. 5-2 Colorado. Here's the 1-1. Good pitch.
Right on the Hundicam, right out of the hand. And oh yeah, really good pitch. Right under the bat and the swing.
Two and 2 on Ludwig. Padres, National League best 40-30 out on the road. He went, didn't he? Yep. Jeff Kellogg confirms. And that is the first out of the 4th inning.
Well, did he really go around on it? I saw that elbow come through, but I didn't think the bat went. And obviously on the Southwest cam it shows he did not go. But Kellogg said that he did go.
AT&T trivia question on a Wednesday afternoon at Coors Field. Who is the starting pitcher for Kansas City during the Pine Tar ball game? Hint, he also gave up Reggie Jackson's 500th home run. This Pine Tar game was between the Yankees and Royals. And that game was eventually completed with George Frazier on the mound.
Yeah, how about that? In front of about 1,500 people that were let in free on the Bronx as they came over from Baltimore on an off day to complete that ball game.
Swung on and missed. Jerry Hairston behind 0-1. We asked that trivia question. Well, you know how we operate. I mean, there's got to be a tie to this ball game. It's the only hint we're giving away. Three generations of Hairstons have played in the big leagues. That hit him. Runners don't move up.
Didn't hit him, but it was really in close, and then the ball just ricocheted away from Olivo.
And now Adrian Gonzalez can score on a ground ball, and that's a costly wild pitch.
Absolutely it is. I mean, this ball, hard slider down into the ground. So you're trying to block this thing. As it comes up, it just rolls across your chest and away from you.
1-1 on Jerry Hairston. Now if you're De La Rosa, he strikes out more than a hitter an inning. You hope to get in position maybe to earn the punch out.
Yeah, veteran hitter at the plate. Everything changes a little bit now. I mean, he's going to just be trying to push the ball to the right side with a 3-run lead. He's trying to get out.
Well, you're ahead now 1-2. De La Rosa gets most of his strikeouts with his secondary stuff. A lot of them come off his great changeup, and you just saw it there. The one pitch where you see him get strikeouts in the past, in early count strikes, that he really is not utilizing much right now, and I think it has to do with the finger injury, George, is the big curveball.
Absolutely it is. He doesn't use it as much, but he does use the slider a lot.
Here's the 1-2. Change up again.
They're trying to feed everything down and in on him, and they don't want to give. You can see right down there in that 4th strike zone. Everything's down and everything's in. He's swinging out over the top of it. The Hika, the right-hander, starting to warm up as they get farther down into this bullpen. So, I mean, this is just put a big X right here and see if they go back there again.
It's kind of a funny look at the fourth strike zone. There were no baseballs anywhere close to the fourth strike zone. It's like the guy who throws out the first pitch of the game, the celebrity that bounces it. That's what it looked like, right?
Yeah, and it counts 1 and 2.
Take a look at the Amica hit zone on Jerry Hairston Jr. Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
You can see right down in here. I mean, this is kind of the area everybody likes to go to. It's the lowest average except for way up and out of the strike zone.
Keeps throwing that changeup. And Jerry Hairston is barely making contact with it. He's living to look at another pitch. Sometimes it's a key part of this game. Hairston, a versatile guy. He can play every infield spot. He can play every outfield spot. The Yankees picked him up late last year for just that reason. Here's the 1-2 again. Bring him up. You bet. Hairston's got 2 outs.
2 in a row. They've gotten Ludwig. Now they've gotten Jerry Hairston. And that's something you look at that you're a little surprised. I mean, once again, I don't know if I could agree with him or not. I'm just glad it happened that way. Kellogg's gotten 2.
Yeah, on the naked eye, I thought he held up on that one. It's got to be a real difficult call for the first and third base umpires. So Scott Hairston, who grounded to short, is up there. Scott's been struggling with the bat, but a dangerous guy. He can hit the long ball. It seems like against the Rockies, he does damage. Pretty good numbers against De La Rosa. A couple of long balls.
As much as he swings the bat and drives in runs and does everything else, surprising that he's 4 for 41 with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. He's hitting .098.
Here's the 1-1 and a line drive right at Eric Young. Well, back-to-back doubles began the inning for the Padres against De La Rosa, but he gets the next 3. 5-2 Rockies. starting pitcher for Kansas City in the Pine Tar ball game. And the hint we gave a couple of hits. He gave up Reggie's 500th. He also has a little something to do with this ball game. His name, Bud Black. Bud had an outstanding big league career. You win 100+ games. You've done well. Look at the ERA, George. Different era, huh? 121.
Yep. 121
wins with an ERA in the American League for the most part, a 3.84. 1-1 on EY. And back up the middle, and the Rockies want to crank up the engine on the offense again. That is the 9th hit against Clayton Richard, who's not accustomed to this kind of treatment.
Not at all. He's used to dominating in ball games or keeping you in ball games. But EY getting it started again. We mentioned earlier that the leadoff man has hit only 198 against him this year, and EY's 2 for 3 right now. I think follow that same pattern. If De La Rosa give up 1, you take 4 back. It's a pretty good way to go, isn't it?
Yeah. How about Johnny Herrera so far in this game? A sack bunt, line single to right.
That's one thing about Clayton Richard, though. One of the better moves in all the game when it comes as left-hander on the mound.
Here's something for all you Johnny Herrera fans, of which I'm a big fan. He has started 43 games this year. The Rockies are 23-20, 3 games over 500 with Johnny Herrera is in the lineup. And it's all that more impressive because, you know, Johnny's a singles guy for the most part. He's a battler at the plate, and when he's in the lineup, it means that Tulowitzki's out of the lineup, and that's why he started most of those ball games. So they're winning, taking a huge power bat out of the middle of the lineup. 1-1 on Herrera. He understands who he is, which
I was really surprised last year he crept through the Rule 5 draft. I don't know how 29 other teams passed on the guy. There's probably a lot of pro scouting directors and GMs that are going to, where was this guy? Where were you guys watching? Glad they did.
Cargo on deck, 1-2, nobody out. And this is far off to right field. It's going to go into the corner. A base hit. Eric Young goes first to third. And here comes Gonzalez again. Nobody out in the Rockies' 4th.
Yeah, how much fun is it for Cargo? He goes, all right, look, can we just start the inning first and third, and I'll come on up and hit, because that's about what's happened here at home on this homestand for Gonzalez. Good inside-out swing, going to push the ball to the right side. And now all of a sudden you look up, you got first and third again. You're trying to just minimize damage. And it's not easy to do it all. Ludwig's able to get to the ball and get it back in a hurry. It's a question you got to ask, and even their bullpen's a little bit beat up too, though. But you got to ask the question: how long do you let this little young left-hander stay out and take the abuse? 10 hits and 5 runs so far.
First and third, nobody out. He got a slider. Rockies have tomorrow off. The Padres do not. They open up a 4-game series in St. Louis tomorrow night. Edward Mujica. And this is going to drop and drive in another run for Gonzalez. And Herrera is going to go first to third. 6-2 Colorado. 2 ribby afternoon for Cargo. He sacrificed 2 bats in the process. He's okay with that.
Enough now. I think Bud Black's probably going to make the double switch here to try to eat up some innings if he can in this ball game. On the Hyundai Cam, look at this ball almost on the ground. And he goes out to get it with that long swing and strength and dumps it out over the head of Tejada at short. That'll bring EY to the plate, and it'll move Johnny Herrera over to third base, and they're going to go to that bullpen.
Hitting coaches love to talk about how long a bat stays in the zone. As you see Chris Denorfia coming into the ball game. Carlos Gonzalez's bat stays in the zone a long time. That's why you see him sometimes get those end of bat hits. And of course, he's so strong. He's got great bat speed. So that may break, but he's still going to be able to find an empty place in the outfield frequently. 6-2 Rockies. Didn't have much interest in him facing Troy Tulowitzki again. I can guarantee you that. There's Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki just hit a 3-run home run off him. 2 for 2, 4 RBIs. And he is 7 for 12 lifetime against Richard. Chris Denorfia is in the game in left field. Scott Hairston comes out. And Edward Mejica is the new pitcher.
I was even a little bit surprised Bud Black sent the young left-hander back out in the bottom of the 4th inning. I thought he might go to his bullpen at that time. He had Mejica warming up in their bullpen. Tulowitzki yet to get a hit in his career against Mejica. He's 0 for 7.
Johnny Herrera at third. Carlos Gonzalez at first. 0-1. High in the air. Deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it again. Another 3-run jack for Tulo. That's 7 RBIs. That's Little League stuff. September, Troy Tulowitzki. Home run number 11 in the month, and it's only September 15th.
Yeah, how about this? And he did it against a guy he'd been struggling his whole career, but he didn't struggle on this swing, just out over the head of Denorfia, who just came into the ball game.
And Giambi hits it high in the air to deep right field. This one's not going to get out, though. Crowd was on their feet again for a moment.
Talking about blowing a game up. 9-2 now. 8 runs charged to the young left-hander. All he can do is just shake his head. A day you just want to forget about. Go take the shower.
Tulowitzki, for the second time in his career, a 7 RBI day. He had one last August against the Cubs here at Coors Field. The day is young, though. For Troy, it's just the 4th inning. Work left to do. Spilborghs is 1 for 2. And And Spilly hits this ball well to left field. D'Onofrio cruising back and making the catch. A little bit more on Troy. It's his 4th career 2-homer game. Listen to this, everybody. It's his 3rd in the last 8 days.
Well, that's how you hit that many home runs in 15 days into the month.
You know, he hit 32 last year. He missed 6 weeks, and you figure, oh, there's no way he's going to get anywhere near that total this year. Well, guess what? He's got 23 now. Jay Pate takes a strike on the corner. He had a ground rule double his last time up. And Jay's got himself another hit. First start in a couple of years for Jay Pate, and he was prepared for it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Let's take a look at this date in history, brought to you by Debts One, Marketing Solutions, Business Results. We go back to 1996. The Big Cat hits a 3-run home run to help Colorado establish a major league record for runs scored at home, as Colorado will amass 658 runs at Coors Field to pass the 1950 Red Sox, who scored 625. There are some teams, folks, that won't score 658 all year.
Sometimes 2 years. 658's a ton of runs. Goodness.
Peyton takes off, and Miguel Olivo fouls it off. Giving some folks an idea, George, of the bad offensive teams this year in baseball. Pittsburgh has 493 runs with 2.5 weeks left of the season, right? They're not going to come anywhere near that. The Astros 549. They're not going to come anywhere near that. That's over a full schedule, home and away. 1-2 on Olivo. And that is the final out of another productive inning for the Rockies. The Rockies throw up another 4th spot. It's Troy Tulowitzki going Earl Weaver again. His 2nd 3-run bomb of the day. And 6 featuring the calls of fall. Rockies catcher and September call-up Paul Phillips introduces you to the newest players in the clubhouse that have just arrived. From Mike McHenry's first call to Jay Payton's journey back at age 37. That'll be a lot of fun. Paul Phillips, very entertaining. You'll enjoy that. Rockies All Access tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I know you're enjoying this one so far. The Rockies need a victory today, and so far so good. They're up 9-2, and that guy's had a little something to do with it. He has driven in 7 of the 9. RBI single in the first. And in his next 2 at-bats, 2 3-run jacks. Torrealba's at the plate. He homered his last time on a fastball, so he gets a slider. Ball 1. There's a strike. How about this, folks? Troy now has 11 home runs in September. We're 15 days into the month. He has 27 RBIs in the first 15 days. That's 11 more than the next best in the game, Chase Utley. He has 27 RBIs in 2 weeks. That's crazy.
It's just numbers going up that you just shake your head at, but pulling off what he's pulled off.
But he does not have a September record yet for home runs for the Rockies. Matt Holliday, in the great run of 2007, hit a dozen home runs. Here's the 1-2. 2-2. Yeah, I mean, that's silly stuff. That's video game stuff. Here's the 2-2. Got it. Torrealba strikes out. That's number 6 for De La Rosa. And that'll bring up Chris Denorfia. Denorfia now hitting in the 9 spot after the double switch. That outing for Clayton Richard. That's a strike. His shortest of the years. Previous worst outing was in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks back on August 7th. He went 3 2/3, gave up 5 runs. In this ball game, he goes 3+, gives up 8 runs on 11 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 3. Oh-2 outside on Denorfia.
9 of the 11 home runs Drew's talked about on Tulowitzki have come here at Coors Field. Well, there's a reason for that. They've played a lot of games at home.
Well,
so you don't lay it out on Coors Field. You have one in San Diego, one of the hardest parks to do it, dead center field.
It's a ground ball right at EY. Bad throw and safe there. That's another error on Eric Young, and that's the second time, George, he has thrown the ball up the first base line on a routine ground ball.
Everything's fundamentally sound too. That's what gets you a little bit. It's not a rush throw at all. The ball's hit right to him. Not right to him, but he moves over. It's a Christmas hop, but see how he got everything fundamentally done right. But then the ball sailed on him, working underneath the baseball instead of staying behind it and through it, and he got that wide tail to it.
Aaron Cunningham at the plate, hit by a pitch, and he grounded to short.
See, what really creates the problem, folks, is this. You got a short bullpen. You want De La Rosa to be able to work into this ball game and try to get you at least 110 pitches and get you somewhere into that 8th inning, 7th or 8th inning. And with this lead, if it continues to expand, obviously Jim Tracy can go to some other people. But that error creates another 5 or 6 pitches to get the next 2 outs, and it could create another 12, 14 pitches, which is what you don't want, and De La Rosa's at 70 right now.
And so the last 2 days, Eric Young has shown improvement defensively with his hands, and throwing hadn't really been an issue. Double play ball. Safe there. Aaron Cunningham can run.
Well, one more look at this. Ball hit on a couple of hops right at Tulowitzki. Then EY, very good footwork at second base. I thought he got it.
Now here it is. Let's look on the Hyundai cam. Yeah, he is out. Yep, he did get him. So I really thought EY's footwork that time was very good around the bag and right on the money with the throw.
So Eckstein will hit. A line out and a strikeout for David Eckstein.
Get your tickets for today for the fireworks ball game, September 24th. The Giants are going to be in town, so it's a Friday night. You got fireworks, you got everything going on. You got at this time second leading club in the West. 1-800-388-ROCKS in town. Or go to ColoradoRockies.com.
And the 35-year-old takes outside. Eckstein, a two-time All-Star. Bad for a guy who walked on at the University of Florida. The classic overachiever. I said it yesterday, George. You know, he's got the bat waving up in front, and he's a diminutive guy, but he'll surprise you. Every once in a while, he'll juice a baseball and hit it over the wall.
Kind of those pesky. It's like a gnat. You're on the front porch trying to take a nap. You just keep slapping it away. It keeps coming back. He's kind of that gnat.
So 35 career home runs. Talking about Jay Payton's prowess in the classroom when he was at Georgia Tech. This kid was a two-time academic All-American at Florida. Ground ball deep short. Tulowitzki's got to go the long way, and Giambi picks it. There was an error in the inning. No harm done. The Rockies lead it 9-2. Rockies up 9-2 as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Troy Tulowitzki's had a monster day if you're sneaking a peek now a little bit late. 7 RBIs, 2 3-run home runs, and the other 2 runs driven in by guess who? Carlos Gonzalez. That dynamic duo. Tulo's got the helmet on. He's up 5th this inning, and he fully expects to swing the bat. De La Rosa behind Edward Mejica, 0-2. Again, a day off tomorrow, and then the Rockies resume on the road in LA, which has been a trouble spot forever for this organization. But you know what? One of the things the Rockies, George, will bring out on the road is the fact that even though it's been a tough year away from home, a lot of close losses, etc. In their last trip out west, they went 4-2, and obviously they won 10 straight at one point. Did so well here at home.
They did well when they played San Francisco and San Diego over that 4-2 road trip. Now you go into that one spot for whatever reason, and nobody can pinpoint it. You know, one spot on the West Coast, Tinseltown, that you have a problem with.
In a ditch, 0-2. Two outs, and that'll bring up Johnny Herrera. With the Padres winning the first 2 ball games of this series, they obviously win the series, and it's the first time they've won consecutive games against the Rockies all year. It's the only series they've won against Colorado this season. The Rockies lead the season series 11-6. Padres have a winning record against every other of the divisional opponents, every other team in the division. Not been able to figure out the Rockies. So the last couple of nights, they had to hang on to do it. 2-strike count with 2 outs on Johnny Herrera. A reminder that the place to go if you have windshield issues is Safelite Auto Glass. The number 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. 1-2. Rockies are 33-26 against the West. And they've played their best baseball against the teams in front of them. The Padres, most notably, they've played well against San Francisco, game over 500. Now over 500 after the sweep against Arizona. But struggle with the Dodgers. So hope to turn that around beginning this weekend in LA. Milano went over the matchups in LA earlier. Ubaldo will open that series on Friday, Chacin on Saturday, Hamill on Sunday, and the Rockies, George, will get Hiroki Kuroda Friday, John Healy on Saturday, and Clayton Kershaw on Sunday. You're hoping to miss Kershaw.
Yeah, you really were, because he's really had a Rock's number this year. This means you catch him there, you're going to catch him back at Coors Field again, too, later in the week.
Center field. Cunningham has it. Mejica has a 1-2-3 inning. The Rockies, through 5 innings, lead the Padres 9-2. ball game. Miguel Tejada will begin things. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Guys, Miguel Olivo getting a lot more playing time with the injury to Chris Iannetta. And I talked to him earlier today about how much he loves playing every single day. He said, I absolutely love it. He said, I live for it, in fact. He said, that's the only thing I've ever known. He pretty much grew up playing baseball every single day in the Dominican Republic. He said, that's why we make the money, to play every single day. And he said, you know what, I'll take a week or 2 weeks off after the regular season ends, or actually after the World Series ends, hopefully, guys. And he said, I'll work out at my home in California, then I'll go and play winter ball in the Dominican Republic. I have a very different training regimen in the offseason. Gets up at 5 a.m. He runs. He has a lot of different workouts that he does. He takes a lot of time to hit. He said, I make my body used to wanting to play every single day. He said, I absolutely hate not playing, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he plays every day like he's 10 years old. And you got to love it. He works out that way. Clint Barmas has taken over at second base for Eric Young, and he just made that play on Miguel Tejada. Adrian Gonzalez coming up. So a couple of poor throws by EY. 3 errors the last 2 days. And you made a good point earlier, George, that you can't get better sitting on the bench, and you can't remove yourself from a bad day sitting on the bench, because then it just lingers. But I think now it seems like the Rockies, Jim Tracy, Tommy Runnels, the bench coach, take a step back. You'll be okay. That's the thought process.
Yeah, 4 innings, couple of hits today in the ball game. He scored a couple of runs in the ball game. But yeah, you had some trouble with some balls. And what happens, and this as I mentioned too a minute ago, Drew, you can't extend the pitch count when your bullpen's dead. And after the error by Eway, it was 9 more pitches before he got out of the inning. So you can't have that. You got to be able to make the move and be able to, just make the routine play. And that's the unfortunate side of it. He turned beautiful double play. The guy was safe at first, but replay showed he was out. Did a really good job on that.
One and two on Adrian Gonzalez. RBI double in the 4th. He struck out in the 1st against De La Rosa. Jorge with 6 strikeouts. And this ball is lifted to deep right center field, and that one is gone. Off the back wall of the Padres bullpen. That was hit 8 mile. Home run number 28 for Gonzalez.
3rd one against De La Rosa, also in his career.
It's his first home run in 18 ball games. Fortunately, nobody was on.
Yeah, 92 RBIs now, too. Fastball, gut shot, down and in a little bit. De La Rosa knew, I think, when he let this thing fly, he seemed kind of hop and spin on the contact to the back, because he knew this lefty got it. See, and here's the thing about it. Right now, Olivo's out here talking to him, and he's lost his cool a little bit. He's throwing his hands up in the air. The body language not good, but it's a 9-3 ball game. We got to go out and get Jorge. You got to get him refocused on what he's trying to do. Don't worry about the last pitch. Worry about what you got here. I know you're disappointed. That's what makes him the competitor and the winner that he is.
Ryan Ludwig at the plate. 96-mile-an-hour heater right on the outside corner.
A little anger in that throw.
Yeah, there was. Oh, and 2.
Don't forget the opportunity to come out and get a suite. It'll fit any one of the events budgets. They've got it all for you, even the picnic areas. So pick up the phone and call the Rockies, 303-312-2444, or just go to ColoradoRockies.com.
0-2 to Ludwig's high, 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes on Ludwig. couple solo home runs for the Padres in this game against De La Rosa. Torey Alba in the third, and here in the sixth, Adrian Gonzalez. Swung on and missed. That's strikeout number 7 for De La Rosa. Take a look at today's Quest high-speed pitch. Clayton Richard hit 92 while he was out there. De La Rosa has touched 96, brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Two outs. Jerry Hairston Jr. will come up. De La Rosa, as he seemingly always does, averaging a little more than a strikeout an inning. And a ground ball to Tulowitzki. So Gonzalez hits one out. Otherwise, a good inning for De La Rosa. He's given up just 3 runs in 6 innings of work. 9-3 Colorado. Play by Troy Tulowitzki up the middle. The guy can run a little bit, Scott Hairston, and he's just so smooth. Picks it, pulls it, throws it, and you're out. That's the Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can.
And not your normal shortstop body. You're looking at a guy 6'4", 230 pounds going across there and getting down and staying down on the ground.
Adrian Gonzalez a home run to make it 9-3. Rockies with 13 hits. We watched the Padres produce 16 hits yesterday.
Cesar Ramos is into the ball game now. You see Gonzalez after that. This left-hander coming in for the Padres. Started throughout his minor league career, and then when Thatcher got hurt in spring training, he pitched a little bit out of the bullpen.
Cargo leading off 3, 4, and 5 for the Rockies. 2 hits today for Cargo. 2 more hits. He's got 2 more RBIs also. That's inside.
Made 11 appearances. ERA blown up pretty good. 6 2/3 innings. 17 hits over that span. Struck out 7. 1 home run.
Not a good opponent batting average for him, though.
Not real good. Nowhere near 500. He got better stuff than that. He just hadn't had the results.
With the 2 hits today, Cargo moves his average to 342. Leading the National League. Chasing him is his buddy on deck, Troy Tulowitzki. Here's the pitch from Ramos. 3-1.
Pretty good stuff. Fastball to run 89, 93 miles an hour. He's got a slider and a change to go along with it. Just making sure you stay into the command side of things while out on the mound.
3-1 on Cargo. And he pops him up, playable for the third baseman, Jerry Hairston. One out. It's time for our job done right player of the series.
Let me guess.
Well, let me hear.
No, I want to guess. Go.
Troy Tulowitzki, 5 for 11, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs in the series. And he's got a 7 RBI game cooking here. Job done right, player of the series, presented by the Colorado Association of Mechanical and Plumbing Contractors. To have your next building or service project done right the first time, visit jobdoneright.org.
Hey, Drew, I got a little tidbit for you.
Yeah.
Ramos and Tulowitzki, roommates in college.
Yes, they were. Long Beach. Tulowitzki, a single that drove in a run in the first, 3-run home run in the third to dead center, and a 3-run home run against Edward Mujica in the fourth to left. And Troy takes a healthy cut, and his old friend's fastball at 94 and fouls it off. Down low, 2-1. Ramos very well thought of coming out of Long Beach State. He was a supplemental first-round pick in 2005. Native of Los Angeles. Third all-time in wins at Long Beach. And he gets a pop-up down the right field line. This is a long run for Ludwig, and he had to squeeze it with 2 hands. 2 outs. That'll bring up Giambi. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 95323. And when you go by the, if you go through the drive-through, say, hey, listen, Troy told me to come. Troy sent me. Troy personally allowed me to get my Rockies Taco Special with the 7 runs driven in by himself. 13th time, in fact, the Rockies had 7 ribbies in a game. Troy's done it twice. Ronnie Belliard had 8 in a game, along with the Big Cat, Larry Walker, and Matt Holliday. The other guys who've driven in 7 in a game, Jeff Cirillo, Big Cat did it twice, Jeffrey Hammonds, Todd Hollinsworth, Jay Payton, who's in this game. Tulo's on that list a couple of times. Won't be the last time. One and 2 on Giambi.
95 with that fastball.
Well, that's how you get drafted high, right?
Mm-hmm. Did it again, put it in just the perfect place. You can, even on this ball game, 9-3 right now. Torrealba's still working his pitching staff. Still trying to figure out a way to get outs in this game so to give their club a chance. But you can see they're not going anywhere in this area right here with Giambi. They just, you know what, we're going to avoid it at all costs. He wants this slider and he wants it down. Pancake the glove.
Oh, good inning for Ramos. He gets Gonzalez and Tulowitzki on pop-ups, and he strikes out Giambi. We go to the 7th. The Rockies up 9-3. Just look back. Well, there's a lot to look back on. Troy Tulowitzki, after driving in a run in the first, hits one over the center field wall with 2 aboard. That gave the Rockies a 5-1 lead. And then in the 4th inning, the Rockies would score another 4 times. Second RBI hit in the ball game for Carlos Gonzalez. Eric Young comes home. And there's Tulowitzki again against a new pitcher, Edward Mejica. Same result, 3-run bomb, 7 ribbies for Tulowitzki. And the Rockies were up 9-2 at that point. This is popped up. Barmes near the right field line will make the catch on Luis Durango. Durango, the pinch hitter in the 7-hole, which is the pitcher's spot. 1 out. Well, I've been telling you about a good time. I had the good fortune to go. This will be, I think, number 7 for me going to Rockies fantasy camp. And this year it is a star-studded coaching staff. Andres Galarraga, Dante Bichette, Larry Walker, along with some on the major league staff. George Frazier is going to be down this year with the uniform on. Call 303-312 camp. It's in late January. Or go to the website coloradorockies.com. And you play a ton of baseball. You'll get a couple of big league uniforms. You'll be treated like a big leaguer for 5 days. You're going to laugh a ton. You're going to have a great time. You're going to be sore. You're going to have a lot of visits, I'm sure, to Keith Duggar and his staff in the training room. But it'll be well worth it. You'll have a lot of time to recover after, because as Clint Hurdle used to say, George, they're not going to sign anybody out of fantasy.
Well, yeah, but it's fun to come down there and be that big leaguer for a little bit of time, spend some time. I've been to a couple others, and they're a lot of fun.
Trust me, if you go once, you'll come back again. 0-2 on Torey Alba. Home run in the 2nd for Jorvik, actually in the 3rd inning. Pitch count pretty good for the 7th inning. 93 pitches for De La Rosa.
Yeah, well, you know what? You get 7 out of him, or even possibly push it to 8 innings. You talk about a game saver. You know, a lot of times you want that starting pitcher when you need to save your bullpen.
Pretty good pickup by Johnny Herrera, not surprisingly.
You want your bullpen to pick up, that starter to pick up your bullpen, and you say, yeah, give me 6 and it'll be good. All of a sudden he gives you 7, and this is a pretty quick inning at 94 pitches right now.
Second at bat for Kristen Orfew, came in the double switch in the 4th inning. Strike on Denorfia. He reached on an error by Eric Young his last time up. Adam Russell is throwing. Hey, nice play by De La Rosa. 1-2-3 inning. Safely through the top of the 7th for Jorge. Good day going for the Rockies. 9-3 they lead. so by what has gone down so far. Rockies up by 6 as we take a look at our Breaks Plus poll of the day. So do you say soda or do you say pop? I've always said soda. It's a kind of a New York thing, and it's almost an even split. All right. Ryan Spilborghs will lead things off for the Rockies here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan's 1 for 3, and he'll face a new arm. Adam Russell's now in the ball game for San Diego. Russell throws very hard.
Yes, he does. Got a very good arm. He'll throw the fastball. This is another one of those young right-handers that they have. Up to 99 miles an hour. He'll sit 89, 94, but he can air it out and get on up there, climb it. That fastball at 94 miles an hour. Curveball at 86 at the tops. And his slider up to 87 miles an hour. 9th appearance that he's making, 15 punch-outs.
That's a fair ball, goes under the glove, and Spilborghs doesn't know where the baseball is. He was trying to find the baseball.
Yeah, a lot of that too is you got a first base coach that both guys obviously didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, initially the way it's hit, he's busting it up the line, thinking he's got to try to beat the throw. It's going to be an infield hit, if anything, and then it got under the glove. Watch it.
Well, you put your head down and you run as fast as you can with your head down, going right at first base. Did it get by him? Is it fair? Is it foul? It is fair. So then when you get over to the first base bag, see, he's slowed down over there thinking, is there a throw not coming over?
Bud Black thought it was foul. Asking for an explanation from Jeff Nelson. Spilborghs at first. Jay Payton is 2 for 3. Ground rule double to deep right center in the 3rd, and a line drive single to right in the 4th. Dexter Fowler being given the day off. Dexter will get 48 hours down. Here's Dex.
Well, you know what? They said had battled a little bit of a sore knee, and it was a good way to take 2 days off and let it rest, get some treatment on it, get things straightened up, and it could be ready to go on Friday in L.A.
And the other thing is the matchup wasn't favorable. Clayton Richard had Dexter's number. Dexter was 2 for 19 against Richard. 2-strike count on Payton. Nine runs, 14 hits for the Rockies. 3 runs, just 5 hits for San Diego against De La Rosa. And another base hit for Payton. An 0-2 breaking ball, and he scorches it to right.
And again, if that's
or left, I should say.
Yeah, to the right of somebody. Maybe the guy's out in the outfield. Right? You got to know how to look at this right. Maybe you were helping him out left field a little bit. All right, here we go. It's a slider on that outside part of the plate and down. And he did a good job on the Hyundai cam. This is a good pitch by Russell, but a better job of hitting. You all right? A better job of hitting by Jay Payton with that line drive to left field. Now you got first and second. The big right-hander having some difficulty now out on the mound of getting some outs.
Miguel Olivo at the plate with 2 on. 6 foot 8-inch Adam Russell. He came in that deal with Richard from the White Sox. Here's a strike. Two-strike count. Russell, like Richards, a Midwestern kid. Russell's from Ohio, Richards from Indiana. Russell went to Ohio University. They converted him a couple years ago from a starter to a reliever. That's when he was still with the White Sox. 0-2 on Miguel. Boy, he got away with a mistake there. That was a frisbee slider that missed location by 3 feet.
Oh, as a pitcher, you just want to start screaming and grab the string and pull it back. You know that one's got a chance of going forever.
Ground ball, it should be 2. Spielborg's to third, 2 outs. And De La Rosa will continue on. He's going to hit for himself here in the bottom of the 7th. He's thrown 96 pitches in the game. He's going to get an extra day off before he starts again.
For some guys with De La Rosa, it should help an awful lot. Some guys, though, they get that extra day and they really get out of rhythm. They get their arms, you know, like sometimes when you have 6 days in between starts, you'll throw 2 bullpens versus just the 1 bullpen and the long toss. It's like it gets you out of rhythm every now and then.
Well, a guy that's dealing a little bit with that right now, but he needs to get the arm strength back up, is Jeff Francis. Chatting with him earlier. Today's normally his bullpen day. He was going to go out and throw, but he's not. There's 9 days between his starts.
Hard to do. I mean, that's where, you know what, you know you're not going to be used in a game, and you say, hey, we got extra BP on Friday in Los Angeles. Give me 2 or 3 hitters. I'm going to get 3/4 the way loose and just throw me 2 or 3 hitters. So you stay sharp facing hitters, and it benefits the extra guys in your bench because they're getting an opportunity to face somebody throwing a baseball live.
De La Rosa goes down. We'll go to the 8th inning with the Rockies ahead 9-3. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Dex One Marketing Solutions, business results. By Big Brothers Big Sisters, be big and donate your car. You get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. And by Larry H. Miller Nissan, driven by you. 8th inning at Coors Field. Aaron Cunningham takes a changeup high, ball 1. Cunningham is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the 1st inning. Rockies up 9-3. Troy Tulowitzki, a 7 RBI ball game. Rockies trying to make it 10 straight wins during day ball games. De La Rosa, that's a good play because Cunningham can motor. De La Rosa's fielded his position very well today.
He has done a nice job. He's had that one shot right back at him. He's been able to do some things on coverage, and then this high chopper. See how he started to turn the body. That's what allowed him to do it. He started to turn his body as he was catching the baseball, planted, and then fired a strike right to Giam.
One out. Eckstein at the plate. Rockies came into the ball game since the end of July 19-6 at home. If they hold on here, it'll be their 51st win at the corner at 20th and Blake this year. That's a strike on Eckstein. (50-24), and then they'll go on the road for 6 ball games. They're 29-42. They've been walked off on 8 times on the road.
3 of those lasted bat walk-offs.
Eckstein hadn't liked his matchups with De La Rosa. 3 for 27. Yeah, he's going to get his 4th hit here. Jay Payton wheels. Here's Eckstein into second with a double. You know, 6-run lead, but you get an idea how important this game is. With 5 outs to go, Jim Tracy's not messing around. He's got Betancourt on the right side, Beimel on the left side.
Well, he's seen a lot of what has happened between these two clubs in the last 48 hours, and the runs and how quick they've been put on the board. And the Rockies did it over two innings, the 3rd and the 4th, threw 8 on the board, eight runs on the board. They don't want that same thing coming back the other way.
Low on Tejada, ball 1. 103 pitches into the afternoon for De La Rosa. $30,218 at the ballpark on a Wednesday afternoon. One on Tejada.
Now, this is one of those guys that you trade for to hope they give a little pop to your lineup, that to give you a little bit of enthusiasm, defense out at shortstop. Well, he's done that. Tejada has against the Rockies this season. 10 for 21, 476 clip with a couple of home runs and 7 RBIs against the Rockies since he came in the trade.
Had the old Padre hat on, didn't he?
Starting to see more and more of the old throwback hats on some guys. The jerseys. Some teams, Kansas City, White Sox, Detroit, they'll wear the old jerseys from the 20s 2 or 3 times a year.
I like it. Change it up. Honor the past. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 on Tejada. Jim Tracy, you just want to see De La Rosa find his way through this 8th inning. Padres, with their win last night, their 82nd of the year, guaranteed themselves their 14th winning season in franchise history. And ball 4. That may send alarm bells to Jim Tracy. You got Beimel, I'm sure, ready to go with Adrian Gonzalez up there. And here comes Trace.
Pitch count more than anything, too. He's at 108 pitches. De La Rosa did just what you needed him to do for you. You know, and as he got farther into the ball game, he had a couple of those in here back in the 4th. You know, that was one of those innings that created a little mess for him. But De La Rosa, all in all, pitched very well today.
Yes, he did. He goes 7 1/3, and the Rockies lead it 9-3. Standing ovation, and deservedly so, as he waves the glove to the crowd. Jorge De La Rosa. And he works deep into the 8th inning. He goes 7 1/3. George's last 2 outings, he has 7 strikeouts and only 1 walk today, and that came to the last hitter he faced, Miguel Tejada. So over the last 2 outings, he has struck out 17 and walked only 1.
13 1/3 innings. I mean, that's the impressive part about it. He hit a guy today, but other than that, he's been very good around the plate with his command, and that's the results of the scoreboard, too. 5 runs given up so far. He's responsible of these 2 in that last 13 1/3 innings of work.
This is a big moment in this game. Adrian Gonzalez hit a ball off the Qual paint sign in the Padres bullpen his last time up. Padres down 6, but you have a guy who can go deep at the plate. He's hit one a long way to left, and this one is gone. It's a 3-run homer. And now the Padres are back in this ball game. It is 9-6. 5 RBI day for Adrian Gonzalez. The cleanup men in this game have driven in a dozen. That's why they hit in the 4-hole. Well, the day's done for De La Rosa. He gets painted up a little bit. 5 runs and 7 1/3. And 1 pitch will be all for Beimel. Now you're talking about this being a setup situation and a save situation, as Jim Tracy will go and get Rafael Betancourt.
And to say this, I mean, fans out here, the boo birds and a few cat calls out of the stands here, but Joe Beimel had owned Gonzalez prior to that, been able to handle him very well.
9-6 with one out. Now Joe Baumel not happy. He gives up a 3-run home run to Adrian Gonzalez. He's next to Tony Gwynn. 2-homer game for Gonzalez, and now the Rockies lead is 9-6. Betancourt strike one on Ryan Ludwig. With Jerry Hairston on deck. Rockies were flying high, up 9-2 at one point.
You're going to deal with shadows at this point in the ball game. So that's going to benefit Betancourt as he faces right or left-handed bats. It should. The ball got right by Ludwig at 94. Talking about these light towers that are just starting to come into the area, and you can see the majority of them right now right around the home plate area. So you got a fastball or slider. Tough to pick up rotation as it comes into the home plate area. You just want to have the lead when you get to this spot in the ball game. Franklin Morales has started to throw down in the Rockies bullpen from the left side.
There's Payne on the outside corner. Ludwig is gone. 2 outs.
Yeah, it's pretty good paint right on the outside corner at 95 miles an hour.
Here's the good news, George. If Betancourt can retire Jerry Hairston here in the 9th inning for Houston Street, unless the Rockies have an offensive explosion in the bottom of the 8th inning, you'll have the bottom third of the order, which means a pinch hitter,
Stairs,
Torrey Alba.
I mean, you're going to see some lefties come out of their bench. More than likely, you're probably going to see Venable lead off the inning as a left-handed going against Street. Then you probably are going to see Stairs if he gets on base. I mean, they're going to try to take a shot with somebody on and Matt Stairs.
Yeah, they're going to try to wait till it's just like the Rockies do with Giambi. Wait till it's a meaningful at bat. If they can get the time run to the plate, it would be Stairs.
Venable's already out in the on-deck circle.
2-2. Betancourt to Hairston, the 2-2. He's got it. And out of the bullpen, Rafael Betancourt puts down the 8th inning with a couple of strikeouts. 3-run home run from Gonzalez makes it 9-6. Beating San Diego Padres, and with Atlanta already losing today, they'd be within 2.5 of the top spot in the wild card as well. Ernesto Frieri will come aboard, 27th appearance for Frieri. He'll throw the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Rockies will have Clint Barmes leading off. Barmes in the ball game the last couple of innings for Eric Young.
And this young man has done a very good job for their ball club since coming up. A closer in AAA in Portland. 219 earned run average, 24 2/3. See the strikeouts, very good.
Not many at bats lately for Barmes. Eric Young's been playing every day. That's a strike.
That's one of the hardest things to do, too, coming off the bench and trying to do some damage with it. Barmes with 50 RBIs, 35 hitting out of the 8-hole, which was the most in baseball. At the time, he was taken out of the lineup.
And that's got a lot of English on it. And Adrian Gonzalez is going to make the tag. So Clint retired, and that will bring up Jonathan Herrera.
Yeah, a slider away from him, fooled a little bit, and then that ball just took off. It's going to be a bang-bang deal. And Gonzalez with that big mitt able to tag out Barmes. Joe Thatcher was warming up down in the bullpen, so you wonder, now that it's a 3-run ball game, if they'll leave Frieri out to face Gonzalez in the on-deck circle with 2 outs or 1 out with a man on.
On Herrera. Terrific ball game for Johnny, both in the field and at the plate. Sack bunt his first time, couple of singles in the 3rd and 4th, scored 2 runs. And this is in the air to shallow center field, a misread. It'll drop for a hit. Here goes Herrera into second, taking advantage. It'll be a double as it dropped in front of Aaron Cunningham, who misread the baseball off the bat.
Absolutely he did. I mean, again, is it the shadows, the swing, or just not catching the flight of the ball here at Coors Field, or fool because the ball's gotten over his head too many times? Off the end of the bat, and he dives for it. Had plenty of time to catch the ball. He just whiffed it. He missed it. On the Hyundai cam, you can see that ball should have been caught.
Carlos Gonzalez at the plate with first base open. And they're not going to deal with Gonzalez. They'll deal with Tulowitzki. Why not? He's got 7 RBIs, right?
Yep.
See if he can add to it. He hasn't hit a 3-run home run, George, in forever.
An hour? Has it been an hour?
It's been about an hour. Before that, it was about 20 minutes.
Was that? Yeah. I knew it was under an hour.
This is reminiscent for me of a ball game you and I did together back in 2002. Sammy Sosa and the Cubs were in town. Sammy hit a 3-run home run in the 4th, a 3-run home run in the 5th, and a 3-run home run in the 6th, and they kept getting farther away where they landed.
And he took himself out of the ball game.
They did. He was done. Cubs won, obviously, in a blowout. He had no interest in trying to hit a 4th home run.
He scored 15 runs in the game. Bud Black's just trying to keep it tight enough to give his ball club a shot in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, the Rockies last inning had a great opportunity to add to their lead. They had Spilborghs and Payton, the first 2 hitters of the inning, single. But then Olivo grounded into a 6-4-3, and then De La Rosa was up. He struck out. So the Rockies will try to add on here with 1 out. Herrera at second, Cargo at first. Gonzalez 2 for 4, by the way, for those who didn't see earlier action. 2 RBIs. Got 106 ribbies. And Tulo with 7 RBIs, fouls off the first offering. Troy with 82 RBIs now and 23 home runs. The average at 326. Second in the league to Gonzalez, who's hitting 341. Now combined for 55 home runs and 186 RBIs. Tulowitzki missed a substantial period of time. Good eye. 1-1.
Just off of the plate on the outside corner.
Troy rips it to left. He hit it too hard. DeNorfia right there. You can't hit a ball harder than that.
No, left to right 5 feet, and you're watching them have a little merry-go-round here.
2 outs. Giambi will come up.
Smoke. You could take the whole fraternity house laundry and hang it on that. That was a frozen rope.
And if it's anywhere but right at DeNorfia, and he's a good outfielder, I don't think he can make the catch. A ball we got there in a nanosecond. Giambi looking for his first knock. Two rows in there, 2-1. Herrera bloop double. Gonzalez at first. He was intentionally walked. 16 hits today for the Rockies. That's what the Pods had yesterday. from the big man. 3-1. Spilborghs is next.
Yeah, well, that's the key to it right there. Spilly's been so hot and done such a great job against the Padres, and I don't know that he would go to Seth Smith here. I think he'd go and let Spilborghs swing it. You like the defense in the outfield, and you got a 3-run lead anyway.
3-2.
Well, they've already had some words already this in this day of this ball game. That caught the lower half of the strike zone. Giambi and Mark Carlson have not been on a honeymoon today.
Giambi's a smart guy. He sees that Carlson has a big zone. He's not going to get called out a second time.
See, they're not coming in at all. He's going to stay totally away from him. This time they want to elevate the fastball on a 3-2 count.
And Giambi fights it off, foul, and out of play.
Normally a pitch you would call when it's 0-2-1-2, really elevate it versus it on a 3-2 count.
Outside, now they're loaded up for Spilborghs. In the ball game this afternoon, Spilborghs a strikeout, a single, fly ball to left field, and another single. So he's 2 for 4. He's averaging 288 on the season. Valuable guy. Spilborghs is great in the clubhouse. Good athlete. He can hit. He can hit with some pop. 10 home runs this year. For a guy that doesn't play every day, Spilborghs just went over the 300 at bat mark today. The Giambi's going to be removed. Dexter Fowler is going to run. The game tightened up like it has. Jim Tracy thinking about defense in the 9th inning. Here we go. And Spilborghs all geared up to hit the fastball, and he got one spinning.
11 for 20 in the homestand. 5 RBIs with 5 runs scored for Spilly.
And he got another one. 0-2. Denorfia shaded to the gap in left center field. Center fielder Cunningham's moved over toward right center. Bases full of Rockies. Colorado up 9-6, bottom of 8. 2 outs, trying to add on. 1-2. A couple of slams in Spilborghs' career. Breaking ball, fouled off.
Tough pitch, too. Really hung in there very well on that to hit it off the end of the bat. Spilly's had 5 opportunities this year with the bases loaded. Just come up empty-handed. Good time to break that.
And he keeps the AB alive.
Barely out of the glove of Torrealba. Foul tip fastball. hit right off of the edge. You got to get lucky as a catcher to really receive that ball and have a chance of keeping it.
And the strikeout of Spilborghs ends the inning. So we'll go to the ninth. Street will try to close it out with the Rockies ahead 9-6. Bit more. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Drew, seventh heaven today for Troy Tulowitzki. Ties his career high with 7 RBIs. What a game for Tulo. And coming up smelling like De La Roses. As Jorge had to get deep into the game, he did it. Hopefully the Rockies can hang on, and we'll be in the clubhouse and hear from Jim Tracy as they get ready to hit the road. Guys?
All right, Mark, thanks very much. Some defensive changes for the Rockies. Cargo goes from center to left, and Dexter Fowler will reside center field. And Todd Helton is in at first for Giambi. Houston Street, 18 for 22 in save opportunities, is on the hill. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Xfinity. Unlimited local and long distance calling. Call 1-800-XFINITY.
This right-hander's coming in and trying to shut the door, and he's been near perfect in a lot of games this year, particularly in this last month for the Rockies, making his 40th appearance. See the overall record, 3-4, pretty common for a guy that works out of a bullpen. 18 of 22 in save opportunities, but the strikeout starting to come. The command of the fastball and the slider have both starting to get better. Velocity's been running 92 to 94 miles an hour. Slider velocity up 82 to 85.
Will Venable off the bench will pinch hit. Street 9 for his last 9 in save opportunities. Torrealba's on deck, then Denorfia. Actually, let me correct that. It's not Venable, it's Headley hitting. Colorado native Chase Headley at the plate. A rare day off out of the starting lineup today for the Padres' regular third baseman. He takes a strike up in the zone a little bit. Headley's been scuffling with the bat, just 167 over his last 72 ABs. That's 12 hits. Rockies got a run in the first. They got 4 in the third. 4 in the fourth, and though they've had opportunities since then, they have not added on.
And that shadow's really going to play now. Watch how it's floating over that home plate area, so it's going to be difficult with the high leg kick and then his rotation of the slider to pick all of that up. 11 strikeouts, 1 walk in his last 9 innings, 6 for 6 with a win for Houston Street.
Here's the 1-2 on Headley. Good idea by Street. And he's a smart guy. He's watching for the bullpen. He realizes Carlson has a fairly liberal zone today also. Here's the 2-2. They're going out there again, and he actually gets him up and in. 1 out in the 9th inning.
Well, that's why a lot of hitters don't necessarily want to know location. They want to know pitch. Because if you tell him low and away in that situation, you get the up and in, you don't adjust quick enough, the ball gets by you rather quickly. This ball got by him in a hurry.
That'll bring up Torrealba. Will Venable has come out on deck. And strike 1 on Gorvie. Home run back in the 3rd inning, the 6th of the year for Torrealba. Slider, strike 2. Again, the Atlanta Braves lost earlier today, 4-2 at home against Washington. Another day game, Milwaukee beat Houston 8-6, but the Braves, leaders in the wild card. By 3.5 at the start of the day over the Rockies. It's perhaps moments away from being 2.5. Rockies trailed the Padres by 3.5 at the start of the day. Could be 2.5 there. Here's the 1-2. Pop up. And Vargas makes the catch. 2 outs. Will Venable pinch hit for Denorfia. What we were talking about last inning, George, with Betancourt striking out Ludwig and Hairston. It allowed Street to face the bottom 3rd of the order, where you were going to see some pinch hitters, that sort of thing, as opposed to, you know, potentially having to see Tejada and Gonzalez again. Last meeting of the year between the Rockies and the Padres in the regular season. Rockies 11-6 against the division leaders this year. Almost tailed back on the inside corner, 2-1. The swing, perhaps because of those shadows, on a 92-mile-an-hour dart. 2-2. Crowd up more than 30,000. Some playing hooky just couldn't stay away. Want to be a part of Loto Magic 2010. Here's the 2-2. He's got it. And the Rockies, in a near must-win situation, put down the Padres 9-6. Save number 19 for Houston Street. De La Rosa gets the win, his 8th. Troy Tulowitzki, what a day. 2 3-run home runs, also an RBI single. 7 ribbies for the Rockies cleanup man. And the Rockies have won for the 80th time this year. They're 80-66. They're within 2.5 of the Padres in the division, within 2.5 of the wild card leading Atlanta Braves. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John. Troy Tulowitzki delivered in a big way. A 3-run home run to center field. And he wasn't done. 3-run home run against Edward Mejica. An inning later to left. Tulowitzki, a huge day. Couple more hits, couple more RBIs for Carlos Gonzalez as well. Rockies win at 9-6. De La Rosa over Richards. Stick around. The postgame report is up next.